Hello, we're doing more testing. We're here on Tumbleweed 3K, 4v4 Team 1A, that's Team 2 OSP. We got Rom, Das, Crow, and Corbeau on Team 1. Good little team. Scallard, Subtle Hubris, Dramus, and Xenophon on Team 2. Also a pretty solid little team. We've got a small army of spectators, the list of which we will not go through. Maybe we can bring it up on screen here? No, I can't bring up the player list in the screen, apparently. Huh. Interesting. We're playing 3-point neutral maps because 1-point neutral maps have don't seem to be in vogue anymore, which is great. Finally, looks like both teams gonna be focusing on the top part of the map, which makes sense, trying to control Echo and Delta. But ANS and OSP both have some assets. Lower side gonna fight over A. See what happens. We're dropping down here with Crow, of all people, who has a 450 Axford. Might have a 450 Axford and a Rail Axford. Wombo combo. That's a lot of defenders. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. So, 450 Axford, tons of defenders, bullseye. Track correlated, spyglass. Standard little build. Two fighting rail ships with what are these? With Mark 64s, Mark 62s, and of course the railgun on the nose. Das has a beam battleship and the nice white and orange paint scheme. Quite lovely on this build. Lena is banished to the Shadow Realm. Womp womp. Rest in pepperonis. Das also has 4 gun capping sprinters. Rom has 2 beam destroyers with jamming, defenders, and a bullseye. And of course, a chat box. He's also got 2 spy frigs, 1, 2, 3 capping torpedo gunships. Dramus, 1, 2, 3 MMTs? No. One of these doesn't have... Oh, I see. A little bit extra point defense. Grazer, Jammer, Pavis. Looks like these 3 fly in a wing together? That's actually pretty dangerous. You lose a bit of the situational awareness, but double Jammer, and you only have to sacrifice 1 mount for a pinpoint. Means more combat power and more defensive power. It's also got 1 Plasma 100 Obelisk. And then a bunch of gun shuttles. 1, 2... Oh, only 2 gun shuttles and 4 nearly naked cappers. Wow. Alright. Scallard has a broadside plasma ship. Nice, nice. You don't really see that very much anymore due to the simplicity of the turrets. The easier to control-ness of the turrets. Also got T20s on those, and 2 250 100mm monitors and support. So Hubris has an MLS2 bulk freighter, which is fine in standard, but he also has 3 other ships, which is very much not. That means these are semi-active Giga Spam. Oh yeah, 235 of them, 1 single missile type, no mixed salvos, no special tricks, squale dump. Hell. Alright. I look forward to it. 1 EWR tug and 2 gun tugs. Oh, so this thing is getting its own illumination. That's some risky business. Good luck. Xenophon has 1 Rail Acela, which has been spoiled by a certain someone in the chat. Just currently glonking Sprinter. Of course, it's pretty obvious what's firing those once you start eating ANS rails on ANS. So it's not the end of the world. I've certainly seen worse spoilers. We've also got 450 bulk freighter. Beam going out. Oh yeah, there's also a beam VFX on the DAC map. Look at that. That looks really cool. I love that. I love it a lot. I'm very happy with that. Oh, especially how it kind of fades and after a beam has been fired. A little bit of rock PD anti-beam tech. Nice. Forcing that beam to hit the wall some. Gotta finish going through these fleets. 450 bulk freighter, pinpoint, soft kill AMMs, and LRT tug. Okay, as both teams. In the meantime, OSP is spread out on the map. They've got challenges on Echo, challenges on Delta. ANS preventing that cap on Echo, though I believe the Sprinter is gonna, yeah, eat shit to all these bulk freighters and monitors up here. Delta gets capped by OSP. No one's able to cap Alpha. ANS has a chance to cap it, but they're going to eat tons of missiles from the little wing of tugs. Pseudo MMTs. We'll see. Are these ARAD Act? Yeah, they might get soft killed. Nope. Goodbye, little Sprinter. ANS not able to secure that Alpha point. That means all they've got right now is their natural at Bravo. OSP does manage to kill the Sprinter on Echo, preventing that cap. This shuttle might be able to grab it, but it's eating RPF now, and there is a beam battleship coming up. I don't think this group has anything to deal with the beam battleship. Is there any plasma in here? Okay, yeah. There are, in fact, a great deal of plasma. Both the plasma broadside freighters are up here above Echo, and they have unmasked. They can start firing. They have a fire order. The bulk freighters just being a little slow to get the angle. What do they have in here? Fat yard. So it really should be turning quite quickly, but AT is a complicated stat. Justice for Ox Steer. Oh no, it's eating rail rounds too. No lock on this. It's name. Battleship. For those who don't know, the Ox steering now has a compounding cost, and there was a Beam BB that had like 5 or 6 auxiliary steerings in it. It was called Bad Score. And it was dirt cheap. It was like 2,000 points. And it came with a bunch of capping ships. It was mega strong. And because that inflicted 2d8 psychic damage on Mazer, he removed that. Understandably, a lot of people don't like the Ox tier as armor. We'll see how it shakes out. The beam battleship getting harried by all this stuff. Gonna go to cover. This is not cover, dog. You gotta go further down. They can just move slightly to the right and shoot you still. OSP has cap on Echo, has cap on Charlie, but they're probably gonna get Delta. There are some S2s coming in. One Sprinter is gonna go down. Bonk. See you later. It's not dead. It's redded out. I think the other Sprinter is gonna manage to capture this Delta point. There it is. Okay, caps are even. Points are in favor of OSP, though. Got some EOS3Hs going out. Where is this going? After the EWR tug, which has no anti-missile capability other than chaff? Yeah. So this is just dead. And I want to watch things die to missiles, so we're going to watch this and look around on the map. Looks like the cap war on Alpha has ended. A lot of grape is coming after these missiles, but the inaccuracy is a little too great. Budget Sarissa not able to do it. 2 AMMs come out, 1 lands, doesn't matter. That's a dead EWR. Good strike with those S3Hs. That's going to help open up the top of the map for the ANS. They can go over the top if they want to, although it looks like there's nothing up here other than spy frags. This does prevent the OSP from spotting those spy frags, though, which is nice. Another Sprinter is going for that Alpha cap, and it's going to take some missiles for its trouble. A lot of AMMs coming out here. Bonk, 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 bonk. DC teams for what? What's got super DC?
The beam battleship has an insane amount of like DC team move speed.
Oh, does it have like 3 DCCs?
Yes.
Yes, 2, I think.
Oh, well, these ones are moving slower. Maybe
Small
it was a
workshop,
rapid team.
1 DC central.
Well, then what did we see? We saw one just zooming across.
Because it has rapids and they're
rapid
boosted
team.
too.
Two DC centrals.
I had to swap
yeah,
one of the DC centrals, one of the auxiliary steerings for DC central, because it was 30 buns instead of 20. I kept one.
It also seems, and this is pure conjecture, that teams moving vertically move faster. I don't know if that's correct.
Elevators.
I don't think so.
I don't.
Who is conjecturing that?
Me? I'm just based on my eyes. That could be 100% wrong. It just seems like they move faster.
Well, the ships are shorter vertically.
Wait, what's the question?
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a bit of an optical illusion. If DC teams move faster when moving vertically, which sounds very wrong, but it looks that way to me. I don't know, fam. I don't use those.
I mean, if anything, if ships' decks are laid out horizontally, they should have faster move speed horizontally.
But what if they have elevators?
But you
They've
don't
got little
wait for an elevator.
jetpacks.
I mean, rapid teams canonically have jetpacks, I think, but not the only ones.
That is
This
true.
is true.
ODRTs.
Rabbit teams jetpack?
Yeah,
They're
they've
both
got like
flying
the EVA suits with thrusters that just flying up the elevator shaft.
Oh my god, all the sprinters from the status score are that.
Yeah. Looks like nothing's really able to control Alpha. There's a beam destroyer pointed down. Might be able to deal with the OSP shuttle down here. What do you got in here? You got a dragonfly? Gonna help you whip your hair back and forth, but it is gonna make sighting up on ships a little difficult. OSP still ahead cap score by 52 points, although the cap point control is even. Should probably slow down how much I spin the map. The more time I spend looking at things, the faster I move the camera around, and
Oh, one of
think that gets
Rom's
annoying for some
torp
folks.
corvettes might find the bulk freighter. I mean, the missile liner.
one of Rom's torp corvettes are also getting murdered by missile tugs. Ooh, defender gonna kill all these maybe? Nope, one gets through. I see. The Choir and Goner, which is a fantastic name, by the way. I know it's auto-generated. Oh, they're just gonna miss each other. Yeah, they're just gonna miss each other. Maybe not. Come on. Salem Brisk is spotted. So is the Choir and Goner. Yeah, Rom's throwing on them brakes. He's going to get turned around and dump some missiles into that thing. God, that bulk freighter's moving so fast. A lateral angle. Sundrive and a Fat Yard. That's pretty good. Sundrive has had its health doubled and its point costs reduced to 2/3 of its original. So it's a little bit better. And Sundrive has always been really good on missile bulk freighters. It's pretty sick. Uh-oh. That's one torpedo. One torpedo isn't going to do it. And this thing is now eating rails and a bunch of S2s. Yeah, there goes the missile. The S2s are getting soft killed? No. Never mind. That's dead. Bye-bye. And now the Beam DD is coming up! Oh! Good catch by Wesley Snipe. Beam DD. Oh, but it's starting to struggle to get aim. It's doing the spin thing.
Oh, it took out the DC complex exclusively.
Wow, you don't see that happen very much.
Worf.
High investment gaming is a fail. Another S2 dump, but these are all gonna slam into the rock. Yeah, why would you do this?
Panic.
Yeah.
This beam DG's dead.
Fear will be punished.
Yeah, Travis managed
Oh,
to
that would have been.
take it out.
Would have been sick, but unfortunately a little too greedy with that. And the supporting LN's able to kill this quite effectively. Travis
That's
and
a very
Xenophon.
impressive.
Oh,
dumping
EO
ton of
missiles
fire
sent
down
down for the
here.
MLS bulker though.
Ooh. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to PVC that problem away, but that's not terrible damage.
Yeah, the increased MLS health are really coming in clutch here. Like last
Yeah.
patch, those things might have taken out half its weapons.
Like there are
Indeed.
two. Okay, well now they're all fucking dead, but there were two like yellow and orange MLSs there that would have been dead last patch that are
Well,
not.
and now there are 3 orange, red, and yellow MLS launchers that would have been dead, and that does make a difference. big S2 blast coming over here after this frigate. No illumination. Womp womp.
2 more EOs coming in.
Yeah, this is very worth for this frigate. It's figured out what's over here and is just dumping.
I don't think B short is the issue. I think he just lost the track on the frigate.
Yep, no track on the frigate. And I'm not seeing a functional illuminator. Okay, no, there's one. There's one. It's another pair of S3H. Bonk right in the middle. And now this thing's in big trouble. That's unfortunate.
Big warheads.
This entirely unable. Yeah, these are meant for glunking scout ships. But,
After
it's really good with this
eating a
too.
few seconds of the beam, it might have been structure broken.
That's a good point too. And now this thing's in really horrible shape. And all it was really able to do was kill a sprinter, I think. Kill 2 sprinters. And
Killed 2
assist
sprinters,
in the
baited a
killing of
DD.
the destroyer, yeah. Alright, let's zoom back out. That was a really awesome little fight over there. Let's see what's going on the rest of the map. The Echo team for OSP has moved inwards a little bit and is engaging the capital core of the ANS. Well, maybe not. They're definitely aiming at the capital group of ANS, but I'm not... There's no damage going down on this Axford. And these destroyers seem fine. Oh, this destroyer ate a little bit of damage in its berthing and its rapids. Call the fire department!
B is open for this bulker here.
It is entirely. There's no beam destroyer over here anymore. The beam battleship has gone all the way down onto Alpha to cap that point. That is a massive investment. There's also a beam destroyer down here. And really
will have line of sight onto D shortly.
nothing that OSP has down here. So this is a huge amount of points down here covering this and not getting that much done. Crow now starting to eat a little railfire glonk. Probably will be eating some 450 and maybe some plasma. I still don't have a good feel for the 7.2 kilometer plasma range. Let's, yeah, that's not close enough. It's in fact nowhere near close enough. That's almost 10 kilometers out. Focus on Delta. And Corbeau is dumping it with as much gunpowder as you can get out of a single Axford, I think. Lots of Mark 62s. Also the forward 450s. It's bow tanking, so it's not really taking that much damage from the counterfire. Very nice.
The enemy secured zone dagger.
Few torps coming out. And it looks like they're going to go for a shuttle, unfortunately. These just basic axe. Yeah, Equakes. Wasted some AMMs, which is nice. Yeah, it's always sad when your missiles don't kill things. Probably not. Kramis is on the lower side of the map looking for trouble, making sure there's nothing over here that can cap the Charlie point from behind, and there isn't. But it's a good thing these are down here. Looks like Rom's going to be taking one of his beam destroyers, hiding it under the rock and covering Alpha, while Das is going to burn off A point as fast as he can up to the top middle part of the map. Try to get some control on Delta and Echo. ANS absolutely has to cap one of these points. They're down 50, and they've got, positionally speaking, they're in a pretty bad spot. The both Delta and Echo points are graveyards. The battleship is now spotted. ANS has good coverage on their side of the map. They've got really good spotter coverage. But they just don't have that much in the way of front line. We got Corbeau in the Gunford. And Crow in close escort with a different style of Gunford. A few rails in the back line too. But they've lost most of their scouting assets. They've lost half of their beam assets. Well, no, because the battleship's a beam, but they've lost half their beam destroyers, which is pretty painful. The battleship hasn't really... I don't think the battleship has shot its beam turrets at anything. And these have not taken an ounce of damage. 94... 100...
Rose actually is getting beamed, railed now as well.
Yeah, it's been going on for a little while. Xenophon's been dumping fire down the field. I don't know what's happening in the spectator chat. But I am certainly afraid of it. This bulk freighter and Corbeau continue to box. I think Corbeau's actually the worst for it. It's got more orange and more yellow, although the bulk freighter doesn't have the extra repair threshold, so the Axford ostensibly has more capacity to recover from this.
Rom's DD on A is getting shot by a squad of tugs.
Yeah, Tramus's lower covering force upon discovering nothing on the right side of the map. It's coming over to the left side of the map and has discovered one of these. It's going to beam one of the tugs and probably kill it, but it's going to die for its trouble. Bonk, bonk. Actually, the defender's killing quite a few of these missiles at the last second, but enough get through to down the beam, down the internals, down the jammer. And the tugs can just finish this off with gunpowder if they switch from grape to HE. Are those 250 nose guns? No, there's a 100, so you probably... Ah, it's both! Looks like Subtle Hubris's very expensive missile ship is technically alive and able to cap, but it's got a few more S3H coming into it. He's might miss though. This one has also eaten one grape round. Okay, it stages. It's gonna be close. Yeah, glonk into the rock. One gets through. Oh my god.
And kills another MLS.
Yeah. This thing's down to one
Almost
restore.
dead.
OSP is now up 90 points. Das is making a play for Delta, and I don't think OSP really has anything over here to challenge this. No, there's a 450 bulker. I can broadside this thing.
Doesn't have it on radar.
Ooh, that's gonna be a problem. Does this ship not have a radar? Someone going to the doghouse. Bridgemaster. Just too far? Hello? I do not get it.
The other OSP fleets are rising to engage the Solomon.
Why is the Solomon not on radar? There it is. Has this lost
Bulker
one of its...
Bulker reactor is out.
Ah, that'll do it. Yeah, it's hard to power your radar when you don't have power.
Oh, but all the gun plasmas are coming in.
Here comes the broadside plasma, slamming the Solomon in the top. It's actually one of the worst angles for plasma, because it's really easy for that to get spread out across on these weird angles that aren't very useful once the ship gets into combat. But that is going to add up, man. The fire rate of broadside plasma is a lot worse. Why are these out of range? Okay. That'll explain that.
Yeah, if this was on main, I think that BB would be dead very soon, but
Yes.
thanks to the range nerf, it has a short lease on life.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
I've been
it's-
very passive though with this plasma. I would have moved even closer and just kept firing.
I was thinking this BU is gonna like giga die now. I guess the range is gonna help it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's eating some rails on the nose. I'm just gonna start stacking up damage. A lot of these rail rounds not overpinning and terminating inside the battleship, which means lots of fires, lots of trouble. More than 100 mil coming in. It really needs... Those plasma ships have got to get in range. Who's flying these? Scallard. ANS manages to capture Delta. They're still 110 points down, but they do have the opportunity.
EO coming in on B on the shuttle.
Yeah, I see it. Take this game. Beam's going out. Grape going out, too. Not quite enough. Ooh! There's one. One gets through. Shuttle can still move, though, and can definitely cap the Bravo point now. Ooh, that is a driveless sprinter. Unfortunate. It's at least stopped on the point, I think? No, it's about 600 meters outside the point. ANS steadily running out of assets. There's 2 gun Axfords, 2 rail destroyers, and a what is this? Battleship. Meanwhile, OSP has 3 bulk freighters, 2 of which are Plasma 100, one of which is also Plasma 100, just differently. 2 gun monitors, 250s and 100s, a few tugs, which still have their guns even though they spent all their missiles. Xenophon's entire, very healthy real battleship. Or, Acello, rather. And 450 Bulker. And LRT Tug. I missed a silly Billy missile duel down here on Bravo. Oh well. ANS does manage to secure that Bravo point. They are losing Alpha now, though. And the Beam Battleship is struggling desperately to have an effect on this battlefield. It's not in the usual spot. Echo Delta in the middle of the map, controlling space. It's been flying around kind of all over the place, beaming dudes and taking points, but the dudes that it has beamed, I think, are like a tug and a shuttle. Drams is going to grab Alpha. There's nothing down here to contest it. Except for this spy frig that has no offensive capability. It might have some. It's got some S1s. OSP's got pretty solid control at the top of the map. ANS is really heavily concentrated around Delta, but OSP is not in that region. I guess Dramus is pretty close. But nothing's going to cap that point.
The enemy secured Zone Atlas.
So it's questionable how much value they're actually getting out of having 2 Axfords and a Beam Destroyer over in kind of the same area. 450 Axford headed down to grab Alpha, but that simply does not have the capability to able to tug. You really need the 450 plus 120 Axford to get down here and do things. Railfire coming in though, which is going to help. ANS now 80 points behind. And that deficit is steadily increasing. This tug taking some rail fire. Stun Grazer, no. And it's also taking some 450 AP, which isn't gonna be doing all that much. 450 AG into the broadside of a tug. It's very painful, but AP's punches through. Right out the other side. Not a whole lot done there. Very unfortunate. Bloodhound tug, keeping an eye on Delta, making sure if anything tries to push through this Delta Echo corridor, it gets spotted and mauled by rails and plasma and 450 and 250 and 100. Which is a lot. OSP is pretty strong control on Echo. And it still has spy frags all over the map. They have a pretty decent amount of vision. In fact, they have a really strong vision. Look at all those yellow spotted markers. But it is simply not enough. The tug on Alpha is now taking sustained 450 fire. It seems like it's not taking that much damage for its trouble. Its thrusters getting heavily burned out. I think all the tugs in the match are getting their thrusters heavily burned out, as Rom pointed out earlier. Or not Rom, who was that? Wow, I am really snowblind. God.
Oh, the beam battleship and Dramus's bulk are maybe about to have a close encounter.
Of the of the beam kind. All right, let's bear witness. They're gonna miss each other. Part of the site is moving away. Just barely. Yeah, there it goes.
They might be in visual range of each other. Rock fuckery. Yep, they've seen each other.
No, they're not in visual range. 4 kilometers out.
Their teams are aware of each other, but they don't have line of sight specifically.
Yeah. So the beam battleship is gonna burn towards the Paralysite, and the Paralysite is gonna go literally anywhere else because it doesn't want to get beamed to death. Sensible, sensible. It's gonna dump a ton of plasma into the Chaos Queen, which is head down to Cap Alpha. This is a nose-taking Axford, but nose-taking doesn't help you very much against plasma, especially if you don't actually have your nose towards your target. Ton of burned off armor there on the port forward, starboard forward. Space hard. Few 100 mil rounds coming in and dealing damage as well. And it's also taking some fire from the tugs. Okay, there we go. That's a concentrated barrage of
The BB's
100
gonna reach
millimeter.
this guy.
More plasma. Oh, that's a lot. I really want to see the beam battleship beams in tactical view. 3 beams going out on one target's gonna be sick. And this Axford's already in pretty bad shape. A lot of its important stuff is red and orange. And it's losing track correlators and adaptive radar receivers. It's gonna be harder to keep a good aim on this, although it does have a lock, so that's fine actually. Paralysite managing to stay outside the range of the beam battleship. Burning so hard to get away from it. Does this thing have a fat yard in it too? No, it's got a long haul.
Here
There's
comes
the
the
beam. That's one. Look at that. Aw, out of range. I think, or maybe it just stopped firing. Mass by hull. Yeah. Drive out on a bulk freighter is very bad. There's the multi-beam. Oh man, that looks sick. Take a picture of that. Yeah, the Axford's backing off, but it's not going to be able to get away. And it's going to have all of its armor plasmid off. So any fight it takes from this point on is going to ruin its existence, which is kind of a problem. You do, as Nebulous said earlier, I do think this does need to get onto Alpha and Cap, or Anus is just fucked. And it doesn't really matter whether the ship lives or not, because they're down by 140 points. OSP is 150 points away from victory. And Anus doesn't really have any capping vectors. There's a Rain's going for Charlie, but the Salem Brisk is back here and keeping that armed and under OSP control. I think there's probably going to be a... Alright, this Sprinter doesn't have an engine. It's probably going to be one of these Spry Frigs heading for Echo, but it'll just get murdered by the entire 3K fleet that's parked here at Echo. It's not taking any damage. What the fuck? Wow. That's impressive.
Xenophon's Bulker got shot in the CIC just before Pavi's range, and Torps and a bunch of Torps killed it.
Damn. Yeah, OSP's definitely got a pretty sizable military advantage and capping advantage. I don't think ANS has a win condition at this point. There's a beam battleship burning for Charlie, but they do really need a 4 cap, and it's not going to be too much longer before they need a 5 cap. They simply can't get it. Not with the assets they have on the map. Look at how fucking slow this piece of garbage is. 25 ms.
How dare you?
I jog faster than that.
You don't.
I absolutely do. How big's a meter? 5 inches? Come on.
I think you need to go back to school.
I think base 10 is for chumps.
Yeah, Dark. First human being to jog at 90 kmh.
It's because of my 100-foot long legs. I
Just gonna jog at 60 miles per hour. Is that it?
Brisk pace. Yeah, I gotta wear these special goggles though, because otherwise my eyes kind of dry out. But
And the Auxier is getting his revenge. Is this that?
the beam destroyer, or the rail destroyer going for alpha, is out of plasma and 100 mil range by about 10 feet, and its track is bouncing enough that these ships are firing their shells at them, even though it's just barely out of range. That's very silly. Gross is actually doing a pretty good job of keeping it out of range. I think they might get the alpha cap, but I do still think it's too late. It's 40 points away from the end of the game. ANS does capture Charlie. And OSP's going for Bravo. Anus is gonna hop onto Echo, but there's no way this Reigns lives for 60 seconds and gets that cap. I don't know, these ships are distracted by the Alpha Destroyer. Both these getting out of the points, really coming down to the wire here. We'll see. Oh, there it is. OSP's gonna be grabbing Delta. That's the end of it. And also Bravo. Womp womp. GG! That was a very good game. Extremely close. I can't wait to drop down in this after action report. Corbeau not quite giving it up yet. It's not the end of the world, it's only a couple seconds before the game ends. Or does OSP only have one cap right now? Oh my god.
The enemy secured zone dagger.
Corbo really wants to do his killing.
I guess.
I mean, it's so close to the end of the match. I don't mind waiting it out.
She's very fair.
I really want to look at the damage numbers on this beam battleship, so I don't think it managed to kill anything. Yeah, it's okay.
No, it did. It was very pneumatic.
Yeah, pretty low damage numbers out of ANS as a whole. Let's take a look at the OSP fleet. We got a bunch of dead shuttles. The dead... Alright, the Plasma 100. Scallard's basically unharmed. So the Hubris are ruined. Xenophon's pretty healthy too. Full health of Solo.
I'm so pissed about that fucking liner that both CICs getting rented out the instant before I shot down the torps.
It was very funny.
We lost,
OSP
but I'm gonna feel smug about that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pretty
That was a very
good
fun match.
anti-scout missiling over the course of that game. I was really looking forward to that bulk freighter just giga dumping someone and annihilating it, but that unfortunately did not happen.
It was a funny meeting engagement.
We're on playing tower defense.
That's where you have to get into the next one. That's the game. Hope you enjoyed. I think I need to take a short break from these. I am starting to drag. I might have been mumbling a bit in that video. I hope not. I try to enunciate and project so that way you can hear my beautiful voice. And don't have to be constantly twiddling with your volume dial. I hope that worked. If not, I apologize. I'm not fixing it. Sorry. I don't have the patience to do proper editing for these videos. I just kind of cut a few things out of every video. I scrub through and make sure there's nothing too terrible. And send it. So you get a pretty raw experience. Some videos are a little more raw than others. God. But I like the style. I think it suits the channel. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see you in the next game. Goodbye, good day, good evening. Wherever you may be.